Today, we're diving straight into the ultimate pop culture history and completely dismantling the math that actually cost Kylie Jenner her billionaire crown. We're going to look at this really fascinating collision between celebrity influence, aggressive PR, and cold, hard corporate finance to figure out exactly how a billion-dollar fortune practically vanished into thin air. Let's get right into it. To really grasp the sheer scale of this reversal, we got to rewind back to March 2019. Forbes magazine shocked the financial world by crowning 21-year-old Kylie Jenner the youngest self-made billionaire in history. I mean, she officially beat out Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg for the title. It was the absolute peak of the Kardashian-Jenner empire. But then, just 14 months later, that exact same magazine published a scorched-earth investigation that forcefully and very publicly stripped her of the title. They literally stamped a giant stripped across her financial legacy, accusing her team of inflating sales and potentially even forging tax returns just to look richer than she actually was. So how did a global media powerhouse get played, and how did the whole thing unravel?
You know, the timeline of this whole scandal moves blazingly fast. We escalate from a tiny e-commerce startup launching lip kits in 2015 straight to a Billionaire magazine cover in 2019, and then we crash right into a massive Wall Street reckoning by 2020. This entire rise and fall happened in just a few short years, which really highlights just how fast fortunes can be built and dismantled in the modern influencer era.
Section 1. The Billionaire Illusion. So this grand illusion was masterminded by the ultimate momager herself, Kris Jenner. Right after Kim Kardashian's own highly publicized Forbes success back in 2016, Kris launched this relentless PR campaign using Kylie Cosmetics. And the origins of this company were actually remarkably modest for a celebrity, launching in 2015 with just $250,000 of Kylie's own modeling money. But what they lacked in initial capital, they absolutely made up for with a massive Instagram marketing machine. The brand's liquid lip kits became an overnight cultural phenomenon, completely bypassing traditional advertising altogether. So how exactly did they convince Forbes? Well, publicists systematically brought reporters right into their homes and accountants' offices, actually presenting them with officially signed tax returns. They claimed this super lean operation grew from basically zero to an astonishing $360 million in sales by 2018. Now, the numbers were so staggering and the team was so small that Forbes actually hesitated at first. But, faced with signed tax documents, they relented and awarded her the 2019 cover. Section 2. The Coty Cash Out. Now, if the story had ended right there in those private accountants' offices, this billionaire illusion might have genuinely lasted forever. But late in 2019, Kylie made a strategic move that inadvertently changed the whole game. The massive beauty conglomerate Coty Inc. agreed to buy a 51% majority stake in Kylie Cosmetics. And the price tag? $600 million in cold hard cash. This unbelievable deal valued her entire brand at a staggering $1.2 billion. On the surface, this looked like the ultimate, undeniable validation of her billionaire status, especially since she personally pocketed an estimated $340 million after taxes. And this perfectly illustrates the real catalyst for the entire scandal. On one side of the equation, you have a private family business. They can essentially tell the media whatever they want with very little oversight or legal consequences. But on the other side, you have a publicly traded corporation like Coty. They are legally required to open their financial books completely to Wall Street shareholders. When a private illusion merges with public accountability, the truth always comes out in the fine print.
Section 3. Exposing the financial reality.
Okay, here's where the math completely falls apart. Because remember, lying to public shareholders isn't just a bad PR move, it is a literal federal crime. The Jenners had confidently presented tax documents to Forbes claiming their 2018 revenue was $360 million. But when Coty released its official legally binding SEC filings, check out this massive discrepancy. Kylie's actual 2018 revenue was only around $125 million. Even in 2019, Coty's data showed the brand only generated $177 million. So this wasn't some sudden collapse in sales. The corporate data proved the business had simply never been as big as they claimed it was.
Section 4. The Web of Lies.
Armed with this newly public, hard corporate data, Forbes realized they'd been played. In May 2020, they didn't just quietly walk back the title. They went on the offensive with a scathing article. They openly accused Kylie's team of inflating sales numbers and deliberately misleading financial journalists. But the most explosive accusation by far? Forbes suggested that Jenner's accounts had actually forged the tax returns previously shown to reporters, specifically to juice those wealth estimates and secure the magazine cover. Naturally, the reaction to this was pure Hollywood drama. Kylie furiously fired back on Twitter with this statement, saying she woke up to inaccurate statements and unproven assumptions and stating she never asked for the title or tried to lie her way there. She aggressively defended her brand, while her high-powered attorney demanded an immediate retraction over the forgery accusations, calling them unequivocally false. Forbes, however, stood their ground, calmly inviting her legal team to go ahead and reread Coty's public SEC filings.
Meanwhile, the fallout wasn't just contained to social media. Wall Street investors realized they had paid a massive premium for a brand built really heavily on hype and hyperbole. When the true financial reality was exposed, it actually caused Coty's stock to plummet by over 13% in a single day. Real money was lost because the influencer illusion just completely shattered upon contact with the public markets.
Now let's be absolutely clear about something here. Kylie Jenner is not broke, not even close. She still pocketed hundreds of millions of dollars from the Coty deal, but when Forbes ran the actual numbers from those public filings, her revised net worth landed at just under $900 million. So she remains incredibly, astronomically wealthy for sure, but that recalculation mathematically stripped her of the highly coveted billionaire crown.
Ultimately, this whole explainer really pulls back the curtain on the extreme obsession with perceived status in the influencer era. In the Kardashian-Jenner world, staying on brand basically means everything has to be bigger, richer, and more historic than reality sometimes dictates. In their aggressive race to prove Kylie was a titan of industry and secure that self-made billionaire title, they flew a little too close to the corporate sun and crashed headfirst into strict financial reality.
Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought to ponder. When the ultra-rich try to look even richer, where exactly is the line between standard, hyped-up celebrity marketing and intentional financial deception? Was this a calculated web of lies, or just a case of Hollywood PR totally losing control when it met Wall Street lawyers? Thanks for joining me on this one. I'll catch you next time.